Breaking news. President Trump announces 35% tariff on Canadian imports, trade tensions resurface. Washington, D.C. July 12, 2025. In a sudden and dramatic move that has sent shockwaves through global markets, former President Donald Trump announced via his social media platform on Friday that the United States will impose a 35% tariff on all imports from Canada starting next month. The announcement reignites a long-standing trade dispute with America's northern neighbor and major economic partner, a conflict that had seemed to cool in recent weeks. "We will no longer allow unfair trade practices from Canada to hurt our workers and industries," Trump posted. Starting next month, a 35% tariff will be applied to all Canadian imports. America first, always. The declaration comes amid Trump's intensified push toward his economic nationalist agenda, as he campaigns for a potential return to the White House. The tariff decision marks one of the most significant developments in U.S.-Canada trade relations since the NAFTA renegotiation under his previous term. Background: a history of strained trade relations. The United States and Canada share one of the world's largest trading relationships, with over $800 billion in goods and services exchanged annually. However, that relationship has faced several strains, particularly during Trump's first presidency 2017-2021, when he imposed tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum and frequently criticized Canada's supply management system, particularly in the dairy industry. Tensions had eased somewhat under President Joe Biden, with both sides working to rebuild trust and cooperation under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement (USMCA). But Trump's recent political resurgence and increasingly aggressive economic rhetoric have brought uncertainty back to North American trade. Trump's justification for tariffs. In his online statement, Trump blamed Canada for what he called massive trade imbalances, job outsourcing, and unfair subsidies. He claimed the Canadian government had manipulated its currency, protected certain industries from American competition, and flooded the U.S. with cheap exports. Trump's post also referenced the American lumber and dairy industries, both of which he has previously used as examples of Canada's alleged abuse of U.S. trade policies. "Canadian lumber is killing our forests and jobs," Trump wrote. "We're going to stop this madness." No economic data accompanied the claims, and many experts were quick to question the logic behind the sweeping 35% tariff on all Canadian goods. Canadian government responds swiftly. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau held an emergency press conference just hours after the announcement. "This is an unjustified and harmful measure that will hurt businesses and families on both sides of the border," Trudeau said. "We are preparing a proportional and strong response." Trudeau added that his government would seek immediate consultations with U.S. trade officials and might challenge the move under USMCA provisions. Canadian officials also hinted at potential retaliatory tariffs on key American exports, including automobiles, agricultural goods, and machinery. "Trade must be fair, but it also must be rooted in facts and mutual respect," Trudeau stated. Economic impact. What a 35% tariff could mean. A tariff of this magnitude on a major trade partner is almost unprecedented in modern U.S. trade history. Analysts warn that such a move could disrupt supply chains across North America, especially in sectors like auto manufacturing, agriculture, construction, and energy. Raise prices for American consumers and businesses who rely on Canadian goods. Trigger a trade war, as Canada considers retaliatory tariffs. Hurt exporters in both countries, especially small and medium-sized businesses. "This is going to be a massive economic shock if implemented," said Sarah Kent, a trade policy expert at the Brookings Institution. "Canada is not China. It's a democratic ally and neighbor. This level of tariff is simply not justified under WTO rules or USMCA." The Canadian dollar fell sharply against the US dollar following the announcement, and North American stock markets saw immediate volatility.